Hey, it's Brian. I want to talk to you really quick about what a buyer's agent can do for you, why you should, what to look for in a good buyer's agent, and some misconceptions about buyer's agents, and just some of my thoughts. And these are just my opinions. And just a quick intro. I was in the mortgage business from 2009 to 14. I switched over to real estate, and I'm currently a real estate agent here in Southern Maryland. Do lots of buyers and sellers, and I just had a 30-minute conversation with a brand new client. It was her lead off of the internet, and she had some, I want to say maybe misconceptions or ideas about what she thought I was going to do for her and what she wanted. And I basically had to spend a long time sort of maybe what I would say resetting her thinking and, giving her some guidance on what to look for in a house and what I was going to do for her and why she should, take my advice. And I'll start by saying that I think historically people's perception of real estate agents and what they really represented was somebody who had better access to information, because prior to the internet and even in the early days of the internet, the real estate agents are the ones who had the listings. And there's still this huge misconception, especially with older people, where I hear them say things like, what do you have? Do you have anything for me? And the reality is you can type a search in any website that has access to the IDX, the MLS, and you'll get everything. There's actually laws against real estate agents selling houses without putting it on the MLS if they're part of that system. So there are some access issues where I can get you coming soon listings and I can send them to you directly and I can get them to you 15 minutes after they hit the market and I can sort the data better than you. But for the most part, you have the same access that I do. The next thing people, consider is the process and the contracts and the legal aspect of it. And obviously that's all true. But what I think a good buyer's agent can do for you is give you their advice based on all their vast knowledge. And this is where, there's a sort of term we use in real estate called steering. You're not supposed to steer clients into certain things. It's like you sort of open the door and you give them the information and let them decide. And that's fine. And that's what we do. But I think what I would value and what I do value when I buy things and when I make huge life-changing decisions is expertise and your opinion. So just to give you an example, when I go to a restaurant, for the most part, I ask the waitress or waiter what it is that is the chef special or what it is this restaurant is known for. And as long as it's, not salmon, I'll normally order that because that's their opinion. Like maybe this thing on the menu looks like the greatest thing, but the way it's cooked at this particular restaurant, it's terrible and everybody hates it and sends it back. I don't want that. I want this insider information, and people don't necessarily put enough reliance on that. And I think part of it is there's sort of a salesman relationship where you think I'm trying to sell you something. And I say, as a real estate agent, somehow have some vested interest in what type of house you pick, or that if you bought one that's $10,000 more, somehow I'm getting paid a lot more. It's like dollars. And there's all different types of real estate agents. Okay. Like we get some are better, some are worse, some are more ethical and whatnot, so for me, what I try to tell this lady and what I try to tell my clients is like, you need to lean on me for guidance to the level that you're comfortable. Some people know exactly what they want, but a lot of people think they know certain things and they don't. So let's give you like an example. This lady was just, has some concerns about finances and wants to make sure she gets an affordable house in her mind. And what she kept sending me was these the last one was a trailer. And I was like, listen, the issue with the trailer is a manufactured home is considered personal property. The financing is exponentially more difficult, which therefore means the resale value is going to be much more difficult. There's all types of issues with the types of materials used. It's not drywall. Sometimes they don't use regular PVC pipes and copper pipes, and the whole thing is just a hot mess. And you shouldn't buy a trailer. And I use that term respectively, like in the context of this particular situation. If resale value and the quality and all of those things are going to be an issue. Like, it is not apples to apples. You are not just getting a 10% less cost on your house. The other thing that she didn't quite properly understand was a house listed at $200,000 and $250,000. Like, you're like, oh, I'm saving so much money by going down. Like, in reality, we're talking about maybe $300 is what you're going to save. And the difference in these two houses that she was considering is vast. I would argue that just the lack of insulation, the quality of the appliances, the windows, the electric bill is probably close to $300 difference in these two houses in the middle of the dead winter. And not to mention you're living in a crappy house. So what I would say that you should be looking for in a buyer's agent is somebody who's willing to give you their opinion, who also has the knowledge. And this is where a lot of people use this thing about being a neighborhood agent when they're trying to sell their house, as if somehow that matters. First of all, let me just say, if you live in a terrible neighborhood and you're dealing with the neighborhood agent, you're not dealing with the agent who's going after the better listings, who's probably the better real estate agent. Why are they the number one agent in a terrible neighborhood? Just think about that for a second. But being the neighborhood agent on the listing side is very insignificant. Being the neighborhood agent on the buy side, understanding the market, is extremely important. Because why you should pick this neighborhood over that neighborhood, why you like living in this area, or people like living in this area over that area. Again, not steering, but this information is valuable, and people many times do value it. Now, some people do not want to be told what to do and whatnot, but in that case, go try to find one of those discount, like a Redfin thing where they're just going to give you money back. Because if you're not going to use your real estate agent for anything, what do you care if they're coming from 50 miles away and they don't even write contracts and they're not a full buyer's agent. They're more of just a tour guide, and then someone else is going to help you write the offer. Just do that. But if you're looking for somebody who's going to guide you, tell you what to consider when buying this type of house over this type of house, this neighborhood over that neighborhood, this area over that area, this price point over that price point, this resale value on this type of house versus that type of house. I just feel like this is such a big deal. It is such a life-impacting decision, and using this mentality of keeping your real estate agent at arm's length because you don't trust them is just a poor perspective and a poor approach. And if your real estate agent makes you feel that way and you feel some off way about it, you should get rid of them and find another one that you can trust. It's like a doctor, right? I mean, this doctor's going to give you this life-changing advice. You need to trust what they're saying and not have this suspicion. Are they giving you these pills because that lady with that suitcase walks in here and hands this person all these free pills and gives them a bunch of money and vacations and God knows whatever else those guys are doing? Does that situation exist? Many people approach real estate agents that way, as if somehow there's sort of this ulterior motives and incentives. I've had people tell me these things before, and I didn't even think of them, you know what I mean? Some of these ideas, but in reality, and I'll just, again, speak for me personally, I don't necessarily care what kind of house you get. What I do care about most is if you make a poor decision because I didn't take the time to explain why that was a poor decision, I didn't give you enough information, and I wasn't willing to step in front of you and say, hey, listen, pause, this isn't a good idea, and let me explain why. Because I want to get this deal done faster because you're taking your time buying a house and I want to hurry you up. That's terrible. You want somebody who's going to step in front of you and be like, I know you think you want this, and maybe ultimately this is the right decision for you, but let me tell you what you should consider before you make this decision, and hear me out, and let me at least lay it all out for you. And if you decide to make a bad decision, I'm okay with it because I've given you all that information, but I'm willing to jump in front of you and say, hey, don't buy this house because of this, that, and the other. And as long as you've considered that, go ahead and do it. But I think you're making the wrong decision. And then I feel like I've done my job. And I think that's what a great buyer's agent can do for you, is give you that vast knowledge of understanding how loans, resale value, neighborhoods, what it is you're looking for all fit together. And then the other thing is, like, you want to go make this decision on a house with this very thin window of what the market really is. You're only seeing the houses that go on and off the market every 2 weeks. You're seeing a sliver. The whole market inside of a year is this. You're seeing this. And in many cases, you're not even seeing them because they come on and off the market. The best ones are gone in 24 hours. I could send you a list of all the houses that have sold and then allow you to open up that full window and then look and say, okay, this one compared to these three is great, but compared to all these other ones, it's terrible. I'm just looking at the 2 weeks that I'm looking is a terrible 2 weeks. I just need to hang tight. Something better is going to come along. Or maybe you're one of these people that feels like you need to hesitate and lowball these people. Once you've seen the full picture, it's like, holy crap, if I don't get this house, nothing better is going to come along. I will end up with a worse house at a lower, whatever higher price. I need to actually step up to buy this house. That perspective is what you need, and a good real estate agent will do that for you. And you need to just find a good buyer's agent who's got this knowledge, confidence, willingness to like tell you the truth, desire to educate you and tell you all these things. And then you need to like hang on to that person and treat them well, And I think I covered most of it. But if you have any questions about anything, I'm always encouraged by people's insight and questions and all these things. And of course, if you're looking for a buyer's agent in Southern Maryland, PG and Anne Arundel County, would love the opportunity to earn your business. And let's have a quick call. All right. Thanks for watching.